Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Is that all you got?
Let's begin now.
What up? Oh, for sure.
Hi, I'm Ed Winchester. No, I'm not. Hi everyone, how are you? Our Gordon has proper cooking skills, says Little White. No, he really doesn't. He really doesn't have proper cooking skills. Cooking is really easy. All you've got to do is follow instructions. In fact, I saw one comment under that video that I did from somebody who said, "Yeah, not exactly a cordon bleu chef, are you? You know, that you've got too much chicken there in that pan, and the reason it's not browning is because it's steamed. You've actually steamed the chicken." I'm like, okay, the steamed chicken curry then. It tasted fucking lovely, and it was really cheap. There's too many critics out there. Too many critics. Hi, Mod UK, GK, OB. I'm going to call you Mod UK. No, it's not fake news. I really am Ed Winchester. We are all Ed Winchester. It's like we are all Julian Assange. Is there an update on Assange since the hearing? Cowboy Bebop says. Well, there's a petition going out on to get him out because of the COVID-19 virus, because prisons are susceptible to it. I mean, I saw a really good piece actually by Democracy Now! On the prison system in America. I'm not sure whether that really does affect Assange though, because he's basically been in isolation anyway. So I don't know. It's just another in a long line of things that they're mistreating him, isn't it? Never stops. They're trying to kill him. New York Governor, hi Kinky. New York Governor Cuomo said today that 80% will become infected with COVID-19 no matter what we do. It could be that high, Kinky. It really could. The problem we've got at the moment is if 80% of us get infected like in now or in the next 2 weeks, then we can't cope. We haven't got enough equipment. And how can you carry that many respirators and whatever? You just can't. So all you can do is just flatten the curve, which is what they're trying to do. Hashtag flatten the curve and what have you. And try and manage the crisis and in a way that everybody can get the most medical attention. It certainly looks like that's what they're trying to do. Although I did hear Hancock lying on Good Morning Britain today. Isn't it funny how like our media is that shit? I think probably the best journalist on TV at the moment is Piers Morgan, and that is really saying something. It really is saying something if he's the best. But sadly, there are not many better than him. Can you point to one better than him? Andrew Neil's probably there. But that's it, really. You're not really going to put Marv or Peston in that category, are you? Who else? Laura Kunsberg? Victoria Derbyshire? That's what we got. Piers Morgan and Andrew Neil. I'll be talking about them in a bit. When the Chinese go back out, they will get it. The point is to smooth the curve, I think, says Andrew Taylor. Yeah, that seems to be what it is, and we've got to take it seriously. You know, you've got to take it seriously. Stop at home. Although, you know, because when I came back from America, 10 years ago, suffering with depression and PTSD, I've had plenty of practice at self-isolating. Anybody out there with depression or PTSD will know what I mean. Self-isolating will be no problem for them. None whatsoever. Part of the problem is self-isolating thing. For people who do suffer from depression and PTSD, self-isolating is going to be a real problem for them, because one of the things that has been associated with depression is isolation. And, you know, I honestly put some of the blame on the rise of depression in the technological age, just on how much our lives have radically changed in my generation since I've been around. You know, up until then, up until in the 60s, the 70s, up until this technological age we're in, our lives hadn't really changed that much since the Stone Age, when you think about it. But since the age of the technology, we've stopped seeing people, we've stopped communicating with people. Pubs have been closing down all around the country, for instance. People don't go out and they don't socialise as much. There's not enough face-to-face communication. Everybody communicates with each other on social media now. A lot of that, I think, has got to do with the rise of depression, certainly in my lifetime. So spare a thought for them, people who suffer with it, because this isolation for them, if they have to self-isolate, really will not do them any good whatsoever. Project Fear, you're adding to it. Sorry, unsubbed, says Stuart Downey. Okay, bye. Yeah. What do you want? Cookie? Yeah, bye. Hi Gordon, I've just realised all the top doctors working in the West, be it Canadian, CDC or Oxford researchers working on half-hour tests, etc., are ethnic Chinese, says University of Dice. Are they? I don't know, I haven't seen. I wouldn't say all the top doctors are. Maybe some. Hi Nikki, I'll talk about your thing, by the way, today. Self-isolating if you have PTSD, Nikki says, agoraphobia or depression can be quite traumatic and bring back memories of the original cause for locking yourself away. Very good point. This is the first thing I thought of. When I came back from America, I locked myself away. I didn't even open letters for about an 8-month period. I didn't even see the only people I saw were the shopkeeper and the off license. That was it. I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian Lion scum, running giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. You haven't seen that? You don't know what I'm singing there? Go and type in Alex Jones indie folk song. Every now and then I have to listen to that. It's just, the guy's an amazing performer. I need to open with something that's going on at the moment, actually. Stick that up there. So as I'm recording this is happening down there in the House of Commons. They're practicing social distancing, of course. So there's only a few of them down there at the moment on camera, screwing you out of all your rights. UK Parliament debates Emergency Powers Bill. This is going on at the moment in the House of Commons. MPs have started debating a new law to give emergency powers to the UK government to tackle the coronavirus outbreak. I touched on this the other day. Here they come to take your rights away. Among other powers, the bill would allow officials to shut airports and detain people on public health grounds, while immigration officials could place people in isolation. This is not good. This is from Netpol. This afternoon, the government will seek to push the Coronavirus Bill UK through Parliament, giving it extraordinary emergency powers for the next 2 years. Today, I can report that it's now 6 months this bill is being proposed on, that they're going to vote on today. It's going to go through. Let's face it, it's going to go through because they're all politicians and they're all useless. They're not there looking after you and me. They're there looking after themselves. And if they're in the Labour Party, probably Israel. So it's 6 months they have downgraded it to, not 2 years. 2 years was too long, but any erosion of your rights, even temporary, is a bad thing. Netpol say this: it is understandable why frightened people support handing the government sweeping powers to detain, isolate and test potentially infectious members of public in quarantine facilities. But let's talk about what that means in practice. Oops. In the worst times in a crisis, we only have to look at public indifference to the spread of COVID-19 in filthy, unhygienic prisons to see how much of a priority sick people in detention are given. This is what they're saying now. We were just to open the show talking about prisons and talking about how they're just a hotbed for infection. And now you're talking about detaining more people who were just suspected. These are emergency powers. There is no indication about what legal rights you might have if detained, and even the government admits it expects calls for strict limits and safeguards against abuse. But instead it wants these powers for 2 years with few, if any, safeguards. Like I say, they have downgraded it to 6 months now, which is good. But I'll get to that in a sec. They continue, our concern is these powers become really alarming when the number of infections drops substantially and the crisis seems like it is receding. At the point, the same fears driving demands for new powers want to hunt out potentially sick people posing a, quote, threat to public health. You can see how this will be abused. It will be abused. There's no doubt about it. It will go through and it will be abused. I am going to be doing videos on the abuse of this in the coming months. I know I am. Detention powers are then used disproportionately and in a discriminatory way, targeting communities with higher incidence of positive testing seen as a, quote, risk. We've seen this kind of racism already. It can act as a driver for tougher action by police. Just get to my tweet that I retweeted this and I said this. In America, the Patriot Act was a temporary measure. That was what? 2002, 2003? It was 2001? Around there. It's been around nearly 2 decades. Nearly 2 decades. And it's been used to wage regime change wars around the world to this day. How many people has that Patriot Act killed around the world? How many human rights violations has that Patriot Act been involved in? It was just something that was an emergency back then. It was just an emergency. Everybody voted for it. You were unpatriotic if you didn't vote for it. That's why they called it the Patriot Act, for Christ's sake. You were unpatriotic if you voted against it. And only one person did. And to this day, it's been used to wage war around the world. Whatever rights they take away from you today, temporarily, we won't be getting back tomorrow. Or to put it in the words of Benjamin Franklin, who said this, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. For those of you that have been cheering this on, this erosion of human rights for a little bit of safety because, the virus. I want you to remember that in 6 months' time when they extend this bill that they're voting through right now. And they will vote it through. And I want to remind you of it in 2 years when those rights that you said were only temporarily being taken away, and don't worry, we'll hold their feet to the fire, when you still haven't got them back in 2 years. But then if you really do think you've got any rights at all, let me take you down to London. I'll introduce you to I'll call Julian Assange in Belmarsh Prison. You'll find out all about how many actual rights you really have in this country. They can take them away from one person. None of us have them. Careful what you wish for. Hi, I'm Ed Winchester. They're all touching their faces in House of Commons. Oh God, I can't stop. I wash my hands often, but then I don't really see anybody either, so it's just me and Ellie. Been dancing tonight. Yeah, it's hard to stop touching your face. You can't You can't stop touching your face. I like it. I find it funny when they start talking about the coronavirus and start coughing as well. I find it funny. Jolly Ollie, hi Gordon, just been laid off, self-isolated, boo. You just been laid off. So sick. I'm sorry, Jolly Ollie. I'm sorry, man. Blessings for Julie. Wow. You really have got a problem with me, haven't you? Like, wow. They have put the public in a state of fear because it works, says Johnny Ollie. Yeah. Doing something. Sure. I want to show everybody this. I want to show everybody this. Nikki, one of the moderators in the chat, sent me these little leaflets you can send out. They're fantastic. They really are. You can pop those through people's letterboxes. I've sent a letter out to everybody in my street the other day. Had somebody call me up and say thank you. It's very nice. I'm sure they'll take it up. We're going to need each other over the coming months. You know, this is serious, even though they're trying to take our rights away under the veil of it. It is a serious thing that we have to make sure that we look after the population here, especially the aging population. So there's a link underneath this video to those. You can also go to my Twitter feed, they're on those as well, and on my website. And Nikki also, here she is, bless her. This is Nikki's Twitter. She wanted to. She sent me a post because she wants people to realise just how serious this is. Respiratory failure is bloody serious, and this is what Nikki looked like when she had one of her bouts of respiratory failure. This is what respiratory failure looks like, she says. Central lines, feeding tubes, arterial lines, then verification, I think. I can hardly see this. I'm posting this for people who think that COVID-19 is just like a touch of flu. To plead to those who think they don't need to change their lives to protect the medically vulnerable. Just to make people aware, sure of this. Nikki has underlying health issues. This isn't because of COVID-19 that you're seeing this. She's gone through this 4 or 5 times, respiratory failure, because of other health issues that she's got. But you can see this is serious, guys. It's a plea to those who think that they don't need to change their lives to protect the medically vulnerable. I see so many uninformed comments under Facebook posts and YouTube news broadcasts from people who just don't give a shit. Our government has lied to us in the past, I get that. Trust the WHO though. ICU is scary, brutal, and leaves people physically and mentally traumatised. Please, please, please take the World Health Organization and NHS advice on this virus. Don't be responsible for inflicting respiratory failure on yourself or someone else. Somebody you love, somebody else's, family member that they love. I'm extremely lucky. I came through this 4 times. Or was it 5? But this was a close thing. Others aren't so fortunate. The NHS saves us daily. You can help to save it and its amazing staff now. Just wash your hands, stay away from people if possible. Isolate yourself and your household if anyone has symptoms, and just be sensible, please. Nikki is lying in the ICU in this image description, with a central line in her neck and a feeding tube. Looking a bit grey. This pic is a few years old. Now, she's not in the hospital at the moment, but obviously She has underlying health issues, Nikki does, and as I said the other day to her, you better be bloody isolating yourself and taking care of yourself, love. That's what it looks like, everybody. That's respiratory failure. Do you want it? You want to give it to your loved ones, your family members? Somebody else's loved ones or family members? Yeah, this is why you need to self-isolate, and this is why we need to take this serious. And this is why we need to call out the people who aren't and educate them. And do it ourselves rather than relying on the government to come and take our rights away under the veil of giving us a little bit of safety. Remember that picture, everyone? Do you really want that to be your mum in a few weeks' time? Thanks, Nikki. I hope I did that justice for you. Hi, I'm Ed Winchester. Anthony Reyes, no thank you, no social credit score. No, Nikki, you're welcome. You really are. You're welcome. I'm glad you've taken this serious. I'm glad you're okay at the moment. Please, if you need anything, anything, ask just anybody close. All right. So I was just talking about how people in this country haven't been taking this seriously, and how we need to all get them to, because otherwise the government are going to take our rights away under the veil of giving us some safety. And it's happened in Italy as well, and it's getting to the point where Italian mayors and Italian people are getting real pissed off with it. Take a look at this video that Nikki sent me actually again on YouTube. Take a look at this.
Mi arrivano notizie che qualcuno vorrebbe preparare la
For those listening, I'll read the subtitles.
festa di laurea.
I'm getting news.
Mandiamo i carabinieri.
This is what they're saying. This is just a mashup of officials in Italy.
notizie
I'm
che
getting
qualcuno
news that some would
vorrebbe
like
preparare la festa di
graduation
laurea.
parties.
Mandiamo
We
i
will send the
carabinieri,
police
ma li
over
mandiamo con i
with
lanciafiamme.
flamethrowers.
Che domani Dimmack, domani!
This is what they're saying over in Italy. After, seeing so many out in the street and seeing the disaster that they're just struggling to cope with right now.
Mi arrivano notizie
I'm getting
che
news that
qualcuno
some would
vorrebbe
like to
preparare
throw
la festa
graduation
di laurea.
parties, he says.
Mandiamo
We
i
will send the
carabinieri,
police
ma
over
li mandiamo con i
with
lanciafiamme.
flamethrowers. They're not taking any shit anymore, are you? I'm going to catch you tomorrow, not in a year, tomorrow. This guy's saying, I'm the mayor. You won't stroll into my town. I can't formally ban you from leaving your house. Nice. I will ban you. What'd you say? I will ban you what? I will ban you from stepping on public soil, if not for proven necessities. They've had enough in Italy. I'm going to address you all. What the fuck are you all doing? You and your dogs, which must have an inflamed prostate. You can't play ping pong. It's 10 people who can't play ping pong.
Alla PlayStation, siccome io sono il sindaco di questa città, in questa città il decreto lo faccio rispettare io. Quindi se ne deve andare a casa adesso, non voglio le scuse. Tutti, dovete stare tutti a casa, devi andare. Non si può stare in mezzo alla strada, come ve lo devo spiegare?
Let's play the game for you, rather than me talking.
Mi arrivano notizie che qualcuno vorrebbe preparare la festa di laurea. Mandiamo i carabinieri, ma li mandiamo con i lanciafiamme.
Che domani Dimmack, domani! Non pensiate tra anni, domani! Sono il sindaco, sul mio territorio non si passeggia. Non vi posso impedire formalmente di uscire da casa? Bene, vi impedisco di passare sul suolo pubblico.
Allora mi rivolgo a voi, ma dove cazzo andate? Dove andate con questi cani che hanno la prostata infiammata?
E voi, non è previsto il ping pong. Non potete giocare a ping pong, andiamo. Alla PlayStation. Siccome io sono il sindaco di questa città, in questa città il decreto lo faccio rispettare io. Quindi, se ne deve andare a casa adesso, non voglio le scuse. Tutti, dovete stare tutti a casa, devi andare. Non si può stare in mezzo alla strada, come ve lo devo spiegare? Non si può stare. A casa. La mazza, le fidanzate con la mazza ci vogliono.
Ste cazzo di parrucchiere che vanno in casa a aggiustare i capelli e vedi, a che cazzo servono? Cioè, ma l'avete capito che utavutu chiudono? L'avete capito che chi cazzo ti andava per questi capelli aggiustamento utavutu?
Ho incontrato un nostro concittadino che amabilmente faceva la corsetta su e giù per la strada accompagnato da un cane visibilmente stremato. L'ho fermato e gli ho detto: guarda che questo non è un film, tu non sei Will Smith in Io sono leggenda, quindi passa pa casa.
As you can see, the Italian officials have had enough. And the reason they've had enough is because they've seen, you know, what it's done to people. They can't cope. They haven't got enough ventilators. How can any hospital have enough ventilators when, you know, for that many people? They don't expect to have that many people come in with the same problem. So how on earth? This is something that we're going to have to prepare for. The way we're going to have to prepare for it is by slowing the rate of the infection down. Either that, or we can go with the government's plan A, which was to, hey, let us all get it and see who dies. I don't particularly want anybody in my family to die from this. I'd rather slow down the rate of the infection until we can get it isolated and maybe get a vaccine or a cure or something, wouldn't you? That's what those Italian mayors and politicians are saying there. They've seen what's happened with their towns and the amount of death in their cities. We need to take this serious. We need to go home. We need to heed the voice of that one politician. We are not Will Smith from I Am Legend. Go home. It's honestly, it's so easy. Go home, watch TV, play Xbox. You're not being asked to run a marathon. People think it's a conspiracy. Yeah, it's a worldwide conspiracy. You say Cowboy Bebop. They're idiots. Here's the thing, Cowboy Bebop. They're not idiots. I get it. I get why they think it's a conspiracy. Because they're being told this from the very same people who have lied to them over and 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 over again. You can't blame them for saying, no, this is bullshit again, when the official narrative for 3 years has been Assad gassed his people right on the point of winning the war, when the only people who would really gain any advantage through that happening at that time would be the rebels who were holding that town to ransom. When all of the evidence is pointing to their evidence being absolute bollocks. The same people who've been told for 4 years that it was Russian bots that won Trump the election. It wasn't the fact that Hillary Clinton is a lying warmonger and everybody fucking hated her in America even before the election. And then they found out that, oh, she was cheating and the DNC were all liars and they rigged the table against Bernie Sanders and the Seth Rich thing. Wasn't any of that. No. It was $64,000 or something like that in Facebook ads by the Internet Research Agency in Russia, of which that indictment by Mueller team has, well, it's been thrown out. Same as the DNC's lawsuit against Russia was thrown out. These people have been told over and over again by the media that it was Russia that got Trump elected. It wasn't the fact that their country is in a dire fucking state with their two-party system, which is basically a one-party system, and everybody knows it's bullshit. It doesn't matter who you vote for. You get absolutely horrifyingly evil, or a little less horrifyingly evil. No, it's not. You get absolutely horrifyingly evil, or absolutely horrifyingly evil, but pro-life. Sorry, pro-abortion. That's it. These people who are saying it's all a conspiracy now, they've been told for 20 years that it was Bin Laden that flew those planes into the thing. It wasn't, and you know what? Tower 7, that fell and it was a gas explosion. And yes, I know we reported it falling half an hour before we did. And I know we've lost the tape. And I know we cut away from that reporter as she was saying it. But it was all, they've been told a load of bollocks constantly by the same people now who are telling them they've got to take this serious. I get why they would say, I don't believe it. I get it. So yeah, they're not stupid. I don't think. They're just disillusioned and misinformed. Love to all except the hoarders, says. Good dog. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. Right in the asshole. Did you know in America, when they say asshole on TV, unlike if they say asshole on Jimmy Kimmel or asshole on David Letterman or whatever it is, they bleep out the word hole. I promise you. They say ass, they bleep out the word hole. Cuckoo. Hey everybody, for all of you economists out there, I've got a question for you. If printing loads and loads of money, like I'm requesting people, the government does right now, to give it people as a universal basic income. If printing loads of money causes massive inflation, where's the fucking inflation? Because they're printing more money. The Fed are over in America. Breaking news, this is from CNBC. Fed announces a slew of new programs to help markets, including open-ended asset purchases. Breaking, futures surge after the Fed announces open-ended asset purchases and $300 billion lending program for Main Street businesses. Another $300 billion goes up there. Boop, up goes the futures market. I don't think it's going to help it. I think they're just trying to keep it afloat at the moment. But the point I'm trying to make is this: they put 2.2 trillion into it last week. Okay, put 2.2 trillion into it last week. They put 6 trillion, from what I can tell, into the markets since September. And since 2008, I heard somebody say that they've put in around about 22 trillion into the market to keep it afloat. So if they put that much money into it, and printing money like this causes inflation, where's the fucking inflation? It's been happening for years. And if you include the 21 trillion black hole, the Pentagon budget that they failed highlighted recently, you can double it. That's another 40 odd trillion that's just been printed and gone somewhere. Where's the inflation? Come on, Keynesians. Can any of you explain that one? Trump's a great socialist leader. Put Corbyn to shame, says Peter James. Trump is not a socialist. You know who else was a socialist leader? Go back to about the 1930s. Think. Trump's not a socialist. Trump's a Nazi. Don't forget that. I know. It's like, come on. History, like, just look back in history. Just look back in history. You know who else had a real economy that was really shit, that he had to really get out the shit and start really giving socialist programs and it too, you know? The National Socialist Party. Where are we? Oh, yeah. So, I hope everybody is at home, and I hope you're all enjoying your time at home with your families, and I'm sure you're not having arguments and going insane at all. But for those of you that had to go out to work today, obviously some people have to go out. They're in, fast food industries and, food delivery. You know what? I'll start that again. No, I won't. I'll fucking cut it. People had to go to work today. Some people did anyway. Obviously there are people in food distribution, etc., that had to go to work, and other places are shutting down, of course. But there was going to be a skeleton work staff, I suppose, today in London, especially. So, you know what they're doing now in the media? They're demonising these people. Pictures from several routes into London and the tube showed carriages as full as usual with little to no space between them. I mean, these are people just going to work. They don't want to lose their jobs. This is in the morning. Now, there's less people going to work. That's the thing. So do you know what the fucking trains did? They put less trains on. Trains still packed as commuters fail to observe social distancing. This is the article that links through to. Services have been minimised and carriages reduced after the government said all but essential travel should be halted. So, the government have said, right, all but essential services open, okay? If you've got to go to work, you're in essential services, go to work. So the trains, in their wisdom, have then said, well, we'll reduce the train services then. And then everybody's packed into the carriages like sardines as usual. And now the media are demonising them and putting pictures of them up and saying, look at these people, they're not social distancing at all. When it's actually the fucking train's fault for not putting on enough trains. And now, the latest is, trains will be cancelled from next week as national rail orders reduce services across the UK. Rail services in the UK will be reduced from next week due to the coronavirus outbreak. So there's going to be even less trains. And then, as a triple whammy, rail franchise agreements suspended to avoid company collapses. So, rather than keep the train services open so people can practice social distancing and people can get to work, because some people have to still get to work, especially I'm thinking London Underground here, but instead of just running a normal service as usual so people can abide by the government's social distancing advice, they've reduced them so the carriages are packed like that. Then the press have demonised the people for not practicing social distancing, and then they've said, "Oh, we're going to cancel all the trains now from next week." And oh, by the way, can you bail us all out because we've got no money? I don't see this ending well. We're in a bit of a predicament at the moment, aren't we? Like I've been saying for the last few days, can we please press pause on the planet? Because the way we are doing things at the moment is fucking insane. We need to find a better way. Idiots. Don't go to work, but practice social distancing. So the train services reduced the carriages, knowing that there was going to be less people, but fuck them. I don't care if they get coronavirus. We've got to save money. Then, as a result of the demonisation of people in the media, they're going to cancel the train services, and then the train services have said you've got to fucking bail us out because we've got no money. Wow. I'll do that one. I won't do that one. I don't. I've got loads set. I've got loads set up to do. Alex Salmond has been cleared of sexually assaulting 9 women. Cleared of it. I'm going to get somebody on to talk about that, I think. I don't know anything about it. I really don't. But some people I respect have been saying as a result of him being cleared, Nicola Sturgeon must go. So we'll see what that's all about in the next few days, no doubt. Just need to update. I was going to do a story on this. Just in case you haven't heard, McDonald's and Nando's are to close all UK restaurants. So yeah, that's going to be a couple of places that people are going to be really upset that they can't go to. Anybody, McDonald's is beyond me. Don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Right. You know, I think there might be one good thing come out. Start there again. I think there might be one good thing at least come out of us all being in lockdown like this because of the COVID-19 virus. Because I don't know about you, but I am so over Hollywood. And you know what? I think people are catching up to me. You might have seen this. If you haven't, I'm going to subject you to it. This is 25 celebrities in isolation singing Imagine. I'm going to show it you and then we're going to talk about it. It's 2 minutes long. I've heard this, so you have to too.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky.
Imagine all the people
living for today. Yeah. Imagine there's no countries.
It isn't hard to do.
Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living for today.
How to use 74 different notes when one will do.
I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you will join us and the world will live as one.
Imagine no possessions.
I wonder if you can. No need for greed and hunger. Brotherhood of man.
Sharing all the world. You. They may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you'll join us,
And the world will be as one.
If you haven't slit your wrists, I want to show you something that's going to cheer you up. I like this version.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine going and fucking yourself.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine going and fucking yourself.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine going and fucking yourself.
Oh my! That's going to be one of those things that's just never, ever, ever going to stop being funny, ever. Right, I need to add something else in here. Forgot to set the fucking tabs up. Gordon, do this in the edit. Excuse me, everybody. It's live. It's live show. We have technical problem in that the person doing the show, fucking idiot that didn't set this up. Hey ho. That guy's name? Gottfried or something like that. Yeah. I've forgotten that guy's name. Is it Gottfried or something like that? Whatever. Thank you, mate. Just thank you for summing up what we all feel. Madonna. No, I've said I'm over Hollywood. Madonna, she's been doing videos through this isolation as well. Just check this. What this is going on here. What is going on here? I don't know.
Come on, go. Let's go eat some fried fish. Fried fish. Come on, Vogue and go. Let's go eat some fried fish. Fried fish.
It's like we're in the middle of this global pandemic, right? We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and I've been the last few days, last week, I've been here and I've been talking to a camera and I've been telling people try and take it serious, and I've been, trying to educate people and blah 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 blah, and take it serious and be responsible about things. And what are these celebrities doing? Look at me. Look at me. My studio's shut down. Nobody's looking at me. Why aren't you looking at me? This is what they're looking like. It's like, my fiance said to me the other day, she says, it's like all the adults at the moment are on the internet, all sitting round in a circle saying, yes, well, I mean, we could go with the herd thing, but I mean, what are you doing going with the herd thing? How dare you? We're having an adult grown-up grown-up conversation. And there's the celebrities like Madonna, who are the children in the room, who have taken a big shit in the potty and are running around going, look at me, look at me, look at me, mummy, while they're all trying to sort out this global pandemic that's going on. These celebrities only give a fuck about themselves. You can see it here. It's in plain view. Here's another one of Madonna. She's released another one. Enjoy. Or puke or vomit or whatever.
That's the thing about COVID-19. It doesn't care about how
4.4 million
rich
views.
you are, how famous you are, how funny you are, how smart you are, where you live.
And it's a shame that. Send it round to washed up fucking singer's house. Over there. Yeah. People who are that fucking stuck up their own arse, they only have one name. Daniel Fuchs, take a bow for this. When Madonna asked for a bath of milk, her helper asked, pasteurised? Madonna replied, no, up to my tits will do. I am hoping, at least, that one good thing is going to come of all this. And that people will see that these celebrities that they idolise and worship, I'm hoping that it stops and goes away. Because as you can clearly see, they only care about themselves. So celebrities, unless you're giving large amounts of your wealth away during this really difficult period, shut the fuck up and let the adults in the room have a talk, eh? I want the drug she's taking, says MRs. Oh, you know what, mate? I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. I think she's into some heavy shit. That might be stuff that Walter White has been cooking, you know? Are we? We're done now, aren't we?
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine going and fucking yourself.
Oh dear, that's brilliant. Right, that's it for me, I think. For today, I'll be back. I'm going to keep... There's another video I am going to do about wisdom of the crowd. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's enough for me. Thanks very much, that one. Take care, everybody. Self-isolate. Look after your family. Look after your community. That's how we're going to get through this. See you all tomorrow. Take care.